Arthur and Merlin, the legend begins. Yes, this is another retelling of the classic King Arthur and Camelot story. This one takes a very different kind of route, really. It kind of is its own beast. It doesn't really follow the traditional narrative as such. It has elements from it, but it kind of really has its own story. And it focuses on the younger days of both King Arthur and Merlin the Magician, really before they become kind of those figures. It starts off with our characters both as young boys, and they're kind of from the same village, and they kind of band together throughout time to try and fend off this evil druid who has essentially kind of co-opted this king to sort of take over his kingdom. And he has this nefarious plan to try and kind of resurrect this demonic type entity, basically. So it focuses on both Merlin and Arthur kind of realising their potential and their kind of the beginning of their kind of legacy, if that makes sense. So it is a kind of an origin story to a lot of ways. But like I said, it doesn't follow maybe the traditional sort of story that we've seen before. A lot of it is changed, which I don't mind, to be fair, because we don't necessarily want to see this sort of same story over and over again. It's an adaptation at the end of the day. So I didn't mind the kind of changes. Let's go through the negatives and positives. We'll start off with the negatives first of all. So this definitely has a TV feel to it. This feels like a pilot to me. Certainly the way this movie, the ending of it feels like there's kind of going to be the further adventures of sort of Merlin and Arthur. But the way it's kind of paced, it feels like a TV episode rather than a film. Obviously, it's a low-budget kind of affair, so don't be expecting any kind of like large-scale battles. And to be fair, there's not many combat scenes in here. It is mainly kind of dialogue-driven. I have seen some people kind of rag on the acting a little bit. Yes, I don't think it's probably the best acted I've ever seen, but I don't think it was probably as bad as some people make out as well. I actually thought the guy who played King Arthur was quite good in it, to be quite honest with you. But there are some sort of lower budget performances, shall we say. One of the kind of main issues I had with it was actually the ending of this movie. Without trying to give any spoilers, it kind of promises that you're going to see something that it doesn't deliver, for example. And, we see like Merlin basically, so they're meant to be this kind of great wizard, and this druid's meant to have kind of magical powers, and they end up having a stick fight, literally a stick fight. You think, what? Surely this is not the way you expect two magic users to end up having this kind of final showdown. Yet they have a stick fight. I thought that was kind of stupid, to be quite honest with you. Maybe that's nitpicking, but there you go. Like I said, if you're a purist, I don't think you're going to find that this is changing quite a lot. Like I said, it does take some elements and kind of really runs with it, but it is really a very just loose adaptation. On the positives, I actually quite like that. Like I said, I think it makes it so it's a bit more of a surprise element for you because you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. I have to say, even though I felt this movie was kind of a bit slow in places, I did still kind of find it quite fun. It has a kind of almost like a if you've ever seen the TV show Merlin, it has a kind of a little bit of a vibe like that, kind of a bit of winking at the audience, a little bit of a fun vibe to it. And I kind of liked the characteristics that these guys they brought to the roles. I thought they were kind of fairly well written. I quite liked, especially King Arthur. I have to say, he seemed like a genuine, like nice guy who you kind of would want to follow. So I quite like the way he was written. Maybe less so with Merlin, to be honest with you. He comes across as a little more unlikable, but nevertheless, I kind of like the characters. I thought the way it's shot, even though, like I said, it's kind of a lower budget affair, it was the cinematography was good and everything like that. I think it was technically on a technical level, it was fairly well made. So, like I said, this is a lower budget affair, and I don't think it's going to be for everyone, but I still kind of enjoyed it. This kept me engaged, even though there's not a lot of action here. And this is what you want from a film: is you kind of want it to keep your mind engaged, you're interested in the characters, you care about the protagonists, basically. Even though this film definitely has some kind of problems, I actually thought it was okay. So I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.